wish there was a little vodka in this, but there's not. Trying to behave myself.
Julie.
Yes.
We're good now. You can go.
Okay, we're ready to start. And then just if Paige jumps on, just let me know, please.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Okay, everyone, we'll go ahead and get started, and hopefully Paige will join us momentarily. I hope everybody got the revisions that Janine sent. And oh, is that Paige?
Probably.
I heard the ding.
Yeah.
Is gold iPhone right now.
So, okay. So anyway, as I was saying, I hope everybody got the adjustments to the old document that Janine had sent, as well as Debbie was great and did a working kind of rework the whole thing, and it looks great. And then Paige, I think, sent to everybody this afternoon. I'm not sure if everybody got that, but about 3 o'clock. Well, that might be when I just printed it. But this afternoon, she sent some, it looks like working from Debbie's document, doing some suggestions and some revisions.
I was looking at all three. I kind of looked at all three and tinkered around. Okay.
So my suggestion, because obviously if we try to work off too many documents, it's gonna get a little crazy. So unless anybody has any other ideas, if they would rather work from the old document, I would like to work from Debbie's document and kind of Paige's revisions and go from there. Does anybody have any objections to that?
Which one is Debbie's?
Debbie is the one that I sent in an attachment. It's there's a title at the top.
Is it blue? There's one that's in blue. That's what I thought. Okay, I like that too. Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So if no one has any objections, does anybody have any objections to going forward that way?
No. I think it's a good idea because not everybody's had a chance to look at the latest version, probably.
Right. So
pretty close.
Yeah, they're
they're pretty close.
Yeah, they are. There aren't a lot of. I mean, there's some some phrases that are different, but it's not. I was kind of trying to look at them line by line, but I was starting to get dizzy, overwhelmed. So
oh, I wonder why.
Well, I wanted to do this meeting earlier in the day, but I forgot that I had to be in the office all day until 4:30 today, so it wasn't really conducive. I mean, 6 o'clock was about the earliest I could do it comfortably. So thanks everybody for being here. Okay, so Paige, why don't you start us out, since you did the most recent revisions, based kind of working with all of the documents, and kind of point to it where you kind of tinkered and made changes. I think that might be the most helpful, rather than trying to, all of us just compare the two.
Well, I made some changes to the first paragraph describing Dewey, or actually, wait a minute. Yeah, I kind of combined the first paragraph that says looking for a town manager, and then the next part that describes Dewey. I kind of combined that all into one paragraph.
Right.
And then changed the description. Changed some other things around. Changed the next paragraph to kind of combine elements from the other two.
Okay.
And then I finished up with candidate requirements.
Okay. Let me ask, did anybody not get or not have a chance to look at Paige's email today? So to have seen the changes she made?
Mm-mm.
Looking at it now, it's fine.
Okay, so I just want to kind of, so that we're all kind of on the same wavelength. Sorry. Go ahead, Paige.
Yeah, I don't care if you keep what I did or not, other than there's two phrases in there, and I don't know if they're in all three of these or one of the, I don't know which one it's in. But two things that are important to me is there's a clause, there's a sentence that ends with "and related work as assigned or required." And then the last sentence of the description before the candidate requirements, working hours will vary as dictated by town needs, including possible night and weekend work during the summer months, and the candidate will be required to be on call in the event of an emergency. That I think might be in the last, the one that I think you said Debbie did.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason why I did another one is I started to get confused with what was in this one and that, and it just.
Right. Okay.
The changes that I made from the first one were two. One was, this is Debbie, sorry. One was I wanted to, I know we struggled getting a certain amount of qualified candidates when we did this last time, from what I've talked to the committee for. And I think the more candidates we get, obviously, the better we'll be able to choose somebody that would help our town. So the two things that jumped out at me that would deter me from applying if I were a candidate were, one, it was looking for both a bachelor's and a law degree or a law degree. I think the law degree was overkill for this job. We could do it as a nice to have. It would be better, but I think we need in terms of the educational, we need a bachelor's, and I think it's important to have the finance either degree or capabilities, and that's really important. So that was one piece of it. And then the second piece that I thought was a killer was this 90-day grace period. And I mean, if I'm somebody that's going to move to Dewey, either with my family or by myself, for a job that has a 90-day grace period, it's just way too risky, I think, to do that. And first of all, second of all, if we can't pick somebody that'll last at least a year, then we got to all go back and do our homework. I think we're all capable of picking somebody that's not going to completely screw us up for at least the first year. So if we put something, and we can word it any way you want, but if we put something in there that says, it's a 1-year term with renewable subsequent terms, that would clear us in terms of if we want to get rid of the person after a year, if something's happening. And then there's always in the contract that they sign, which we don't have to put here, you can always put whatever you want in there in terms of how hard or easy it is to get rid of the person. The key here is, this is a sales document in my mind. This is just saying, okay, let's get as many people as we can, and then we can sift it out.
I agree.
So they were the real changes I made, and then I just sort of put it together so it wasn't all over the place. And Paige did the same thing. The only thing different, really, or the only thing I would change if we use Paige's version, which is fine, is there's a couple of words like there's a small town in Delaware, and then there's a small town. It's on a small coast of. It's a small town in Delaware on a small coast of land. Small. And we are small. Right. I know we are small.
Yeah, we are small.
I didn't mean to do that. I fixed that as I saw that 5 seconds after I hit send. And
that's great. Yeah.
There's another thing on the bachelor's, the requirements. I added professional experience, equivalent professional experience.
Yeah, that's good. That's great.
Right.
I have a question about the hours for the summer season. Mm-hmm. Why does it say, don't you think it'd be better to come out and say that they should be there Saturday and maybe have off Sunday and Monday when things are quieter in town? I think there's a real advantage to having somebody on Saturday as people come and go. That's the main turnover day. And right. I think if there's issues, those things pop up. At least for the summer season, I feel it's really important to have somebody in there on a Saturday.
Right.
And just during season, not off season.
Right.
But I think that's just real important. I think that's needed.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Is that something though that we need to be explicit about in the job description or in the posting? Or is that something that we, as we're talking to candidates, we're just discussing with them that, chances are you're going to be working Saturdays during the summer?
I think if you're going to have it required every Saturday, that it should be in there. But if it's more, it should be available as needed on a Saturday, then that may be a little more open. But some people, because of childcare or any number of things, that Saturday requirement may say, I don't want to do it.
Okay.
Well, a lot of the jobs around here have people that are required to work on Saturday, and then they have off 2 days, a Sunday and whatever during the week. That's not unusual in a beach, in a resort town.
No, definitely not, especially here.
The whole culinary industry operates on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe we could talk to them about it when we get the candidates. You know, again,
Okay,
I want to try to get as many people just at least to send us their resume, and then you know, I agree with you. Saturday's important, but I don't want to scare them off.
Yeah,
well, the fact that it says possible is just so open-ended.
Right.
But I think I mean, this is David Lyon. So I definitely agree that, you know, this individual, if they're applying for the job and they have experience in something like this before, they've certainly been in a community that's 7 days a week. So, and there would be less need, right? And maybe in the winter months than there would be in the summer.
No. I just mean Memorial Day, Labor Day, the main season. We need to have access.
I think the way we've got it stated, working hours will vary as dictated by town needs, including possible nights and weekends during the summer months, really kind of says it without being specific about, hey, you got to work Saturdays. And I think we can get that when we talk to the candidates. Remember, if you said this is you want to attract candidates, right?
Right.
So this,
this is in the contract. Can it be written in the contract?
Monty, if you want to say something, speak up.
Julia, I don't know the process. Raise my hand or speak up, but my voice.
I can't see you on the phone.
I was a part of the first, the most recent town manager search committee. I can tell you, I 100% agree. This is a sales document. I know it may be hard to believe, but the town manager job in Dewey Beach is not the most flattering job on the open market with all the media and all the things that go on in our town, unfortunately. Last time, I believe if I'm right, we had about 30 applications. Within a week to 2 weeks, we did a couple of glance overs, and it's real obvious and everybody agreed on the committee last time that we picked out about 6 to 8 after first review, because it was real obvious that 20 to 22 of those things were not good. Once we got into that, then we got into talking to the candidates. We set up meetings. All of the stuff we're talking about here was talked about with the candidates on one-on-one, or not one-on-one, but the committee on one, if you want to call them interviews. There was a series of, one interview, we got it down to 3 candidates, and then there was a second interview for the 3 candidates. If I remember that correctly, don't quote me, but I mean, the last time with Scott, it was he was head and heels above the rest because of his experience. So that made everybody together because he had a government experience. A lot of the other people had experience managing companies, managing things. But a lot of this stuff in this, I agree and really think we got to focus on a marketing ad and making this thing look attractive as best we can to try to get the most qualified, the most amount of interest, and the most everything. I mean, a lot of people, it's going to be money. I don't know. It's not our decision on what this person could get paid. We know what the last few people have been paid, but that's going to be a tough thing too, because Dewey's not going to pay what a lot of other towns are going to pay.
Right. Yeah, I did a little bit of homework on that. I went in and found there's a couple of websites for city managers, job posting boards and things like that. There's the International City County Management Association, and there's a governmentresource.com. And I looked at there were about, 80 jobs for different city or town managers across the country. And I looked at them, and this is a good job. I mean, looking at how much we're paying, I mean, if we're paying over $100,000, which I think we are, big city manager jobs are getting about 150. And being a small town manager, 90 to 95 seemed to be about what they were getting paid. So if we were to, depending on the candidate, if we were to have a range in there, I mean, $100,000 living in a beach town that's kind of small in the winter and crazy in the summer is a pretty damn good job.
Does this include benefits?
That is the rate that we were at last. I believe we were in the 80 to 85 range prior to Scott, and I'm not a commissioner, I didn't make this, but I think that they went higher over 100 because of qualifications, and to get it was going to take a little bit more.
Right.
I agree. I think what we were paying was way too much.
Right, but we don't have to say that in the document. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Health benefits.
Yeah.
Health benefits are included.
Yeah, benefits package. It said
Well, that's huge right there.
It is.
position, extremely competitive salary and
Very good
benefits.
package.
That's a good job.
Do we have that in there? Competitive salary and benefits?
Yeah, I think that's good.
I put that in my.
The only good thing would be for the next time we talk or meet or after this goes out is give us maybe some background on the last 2 or 3 town managers' compensations. That's not our job. It's not our deal to make it, break it, but it would be nice to, if asked as a committee, to have an idea the range this job is paying and offering, etc.
How do we get that, Dale? Is that an administrative or finance thing or what?
You're talking about the range of salaries again?
Yes.
Yeah, we left it, the suggestion we first put in was we left it open. We thought about putting in a range of salaries. I talked to a couple of commissioners and we decided to leave it open. I personally, now I'm going to tell you what my personal feeling is, and you have to do what you feel is right, whether you want to put in a range of salaries or whether you want to leave it open. But I personally voted against the high end of the salary. And I think we, like Diane just said, I think we probably paid too much. But, you have to do as a committee what you feel is good for the town and then let the commissioners finalize it.
Yeah, let's see what we get. I mean, we don't have to make that decision now. This is just about the job description, attracting as many. And then this job description, what's it going to be and where are we going to post it to get as much coverage as we can?
Right. That's another conversation that we need to have. Janine, I know you did some work on the old document. Is there anything that from the revisions you did that I'm missing that isn't in this document that Debbie and Paige kind of combined on?
Well, the working off of Debbie's document, the only piece in there was I wanted to make sure that there was QuickBooks experience if we could. If we could at least mention
that's a good,
QuickBooks and QuickBooks reporting, since that's something that we use in town.
Right.
Yeah, I put that in my copy.
Yeah. And I also
we just added to the last line for the last bullet on.
Right. I said working. I just put in mine working knowledge of QuickBooks and QuickBooks reporting.
Right. Okay.
That and then I understand where we're coming from, but I felt that 3 years was a little light. So I was going with more 5+ years of increasing responsibility. And I looked at a bunch of other town manager, job descriptions that I could find online, and they seem to start right around 5 as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think 3 is too little. So I think 5+ years work experience, and I think relevant experience in town and municipal government is very, very relevant. So very important in terms of what we're doing here. So
definitely.
And just on that note, from the last time, remember when we had 30 candidates, we only had, I believe, 2 that had any kind of government experience. It was hard to find those people. But state, so it really is marketing and going through these things, and you'll see what I mean when we get that after that first week of advertising, because it is an attractive job to live at the beach, to live in Dewey Beach. We will get a lot of interest, but you'll also get a lot of people that or actually, so you get minimal people that have the experience we really prefer.
Right.
Where did we post it last time?
A lot of places. I don't have the exact answer, but I mean, it was online, all the local newspapers. I don't know if it was monster.com but it was.
Because this governmentresources.com seems to just specialize in city and county government jobs. And I thought that if somebody's looking in there, that may be somebody that maybe has some experience in government.
What's the name of that website again, Debbie?
It's called governmentresource.com. That's one of them. The other one's called International City County Management Association. And also there's a certification that they mentioned a lot, which was the CPM, the Certified Public Manager certification. And I was wondering if we could say the CPM certification a plus. I didn't put that in my job description, but.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, certification.
That's a good idea.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what does FLSA exempt position mean? That was in the first one.
I think that's time, like hourly workers, maybe. I forget.
Oh, because I just stuck it in because it was in the first one. This is an FLSA exempt position.
Dale, can you answer that question?
Say that one again.
The FLSA exempt position, that was in last year, or the last posting. That
It's Fair Labor Standards Act.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I know what exempt is, and that the position is an exempt position.
Okay.
So it's salaried. No
what does
overtime.
that mean?
It's
No
salaried.
overtime.
Salary, no overtime.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, because we're.
One thing I'd take out of the job description on the very last bullet under job description, position offers an extremely competitive salary. I think we should take the extremely out.
Okay, just competitive salary.
It was extremely
and benefits.
Agree with that, Debbie.
And benefits.
And benefits, but just take out the
salary
extremely.
benefits, competitive salary
benefits.
benefits.
Yeah, we should add benefits, definitely.
It does say, it says salary and benefits package.
Okay. Oh, I see benefits. Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay, so it seems like we have a pretty good, what I will do is, Paige, can you send me your soft copy of what you've done?
Yeah, what do you mean soft copy?
Well, because I mean, you just sent this in an email, like pasted in, but the actual file that you were working off of?
Yeah, I'll send that.
Okay, send that to me. And then I've been taking notes about some of the things we've been talking about. And then I'll send it out to everybody tomorrow and make sure that there's nothing else that I missed or that someone has. But is there anything else before I kind of end this discussion? Is there anything else that anybody feels strongly about that we need to add or take out or
any just discussion or overall? My question was going to be a kind of a parameter of the timeline of this. I mean, we're going to approve this. Hopefully in the next week, this gets posted on all different things. And you're right, it wasn't some sort of government search engine that this thing was posted. And I remember distinctly last time, but if that's the case, is there a deadline on when applications are accepted?
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's a question for Dale, because I know the next commissioners meeting is not until the 11th. So Dale, what is your plan if I got you a document, say by Monday, a finalized document that the committee was happy with? What is your plan on the timeline to getting it in front of the commissioners?
From talking to the rest of the commissioners, or most of the commissioners, they have wanted to get it out right away and not wait till a meeting. So the thing that I will do is send out the final suggested document and ask for any ideas that they want changed. And as of right now, they did not change any ideas to the original suggested or draft document. So you're including almost everything in there. It probably will not be any problem to put it out very quickly. Monty, did you mean also how long it was going to be posted or when it was going to be posted?
Well, sort of both. I think that I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but do we need a application deadline? I mean, are we going to take applications up until October?
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know how long we take, 2 weeks, 4 weeks? Because when do we want to start looking at the applications? And we can look at if they come in, of course, but say the deadline is done so that we're going to start interviewing.
Right.
Well, I had one suggestion that I thought was pretty good. I sent to your chairwoman there, Julie. I said that almost forgot your name, Julie. I sent to anyway. It said the position will, the posting will be valid until the position is filled. Okay. So that way you could leave it open as long as you want, or you can fill it early, and you never know, you might a day after the cutoff date, if you put a cutoff date, you might get a damn good application. But if you say that it will be open till the position is filled, that lets everybody know that they can send it in, but they're not guaranteed.
Right.
Last time we did 5 days.
You did what? I'm sorry?
5 days?
We did 45 days from when we posted.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's fine. I was going to say a month would be plenty of time if they, if they're looking for a job, they got a month to do it.
Yeah. Right.
And that doesn't mean we don't, sorry, Julie, that doesn't mean we can't look at them afterwards. I mean.
Right. Right. And I was thinking it's 30 days as well, as far as just, for our purposes. Sheena from the town actually.
The only thing I would encourage you, the only thing I would encourage would be careful about two things. If you put an ending date and you hire somebody that put it in after the ending date, it's a possibility that you could be sued. Yeah. And if you put down in the job description that something is required or you must have, our attorney suggested we stay away from terms like that, because then you could be sued over that if you hired somebody that didn't have the must have or the required.
Well, if you recall, Dale, and I ran into that with the audit committee last year, so I am very well aware of those ending dates being sticky.
Yeah.
So I would say
requirements then, Dale. Did they suggest another word to use? Qualifications or something instead of requirements?
Well, I really like what the government used and what was put in at the last minute there, the KSA. Instead of saying the applicant's requirements, you put applicant's KSA's knowledge, skills, and abilities.
Right.
Okay.
And you're suggesting therefore certain knowledge, skills, and abilities, but that's got to be, all of this has got to be up to you guys what you're going to suggest, because I don't want to tell you, or I want to have commissioners telling you what to suggest to the commissioners.
Yeah. I would agree. I know that knowledge, skills, and abilities is a huge federal government. I mean, every job application I've ever looked at had the KSAs. So,
Julie, it's Janine. I had put that in mine, and then I'd said, I'd broken out the actual requirements of bachelor's degree, and then if we said 5, so whatever's agreed there. Experience with Microsoft Office, QuickBooks.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
Sorry, I was just going to say I don't know if we covered that last thing about when they should submit it, but what if we don't put anything? Just please email resume, cover letter, and references to this position to Dewey Town, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Done. And we don't put a date in there.
No, exactly.
But internally, we try to do it in 30 days. We have our own timeline to say, okay, we're going to try to wrap this up and, get everything by 30 days and see how we are, but not put it in paper.
I would agree with that.
Probably safer.
Yeah, definitely safer. And yeah, I think that's the way to go. And plus, I think I think that's just leave it open-ended. We won't put a date in, and internally we'll just have our own timeline of when we want to start reviewing these applications as they come in. Sheena from town actually told me that last week that 2 people have already applied and it hasn't even been posted.
So Julie, do we not want to include then what Dale suggested, posting valid until position is filled?
We can add that. We can put that.
Okay.
Julie, on the description that Debbie did on the third paragraph, she has 3.5. The word million should be put in there. And the other thing is we need to find out the number of full-time, part-time, and seasonal. And I guess, would we get that from you, Ashley, or the number of employees? It has a small workforce consisting of X full-time, X part-time, and X seasonal. And I take the word small out of there.
Right.
We have small in there enough. If they see the size of the employees, they'll know it's not too big.
Yeah. I just didn't have any of the net numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Dale,
can you provide that, or who would?
Dale, do you happen to know offhand?
I'm going to interrupt again, Mrs. Dale. I asked Sheena to pull together the numbers of various employees, and unfortunately, she left last night before I saw her, and she's off today tomorrow. But we'll be able to put that in if you want. We'll provide it if you want it.
But isn't the number of employees? I mean, with everything's going on this year, isn't that number down from what we normally have?
Yeah, but I told her I wanted not even what we hired last year. The year before was more the normal year. Okay. So you're right, Debbie. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if we could get those on, if I can get those from Sheena on Monday. So maybe we won't I won't have anything out to everybody until Monday, but still I mean, we're not talking about, and then hopefully if we get a document, a finalized document to Dale by, Monday or Tuesday, they can make a decision by the end of the week and get things posted. Because that takes us, I think the next Friday is the 4th of September. So nobody's probably going to be looking at anything over Labor Day weekend, but then it'll be fresh and up and hopefully posted, after Labor Day, the holiday, and people
Julie, you're absolutely correct. And you're absolutely correct. That's what the commissioners want to do, move forward as fast as possible on it.
Okay, great. So I know we've talked about a few places where because Dale had asked me in this meeting to make sure we were talking about where we wanted it posted or good sites. I think, Debbie, those two internet sites that you mentioned, I think would be great. Obviously the local papers, but are there any other industry type of websites that anybody knows about, or any other job search type?
Posting
what about
on
like
Indeed?
LinkedIn,
yeah. LinkedIn, Indeed.
And then Monty, if you were on the search committee last time, do you remember where they posted anything, or do you know who might have done it? No?
No, I do. I had forgotten, but I do remember those industry related job searches reliable, and that's where most people came from. So I think that's the way to go. We did draw people from all around. I mean, from local to DC to West Virginia to New Jersey to New York. I mean, we drew people from everywhere.
Okay. And I think maybe I can go back and look at the minutes. I'm assuming there are minutes from the last time you guys had a search committee. Maybe I can get, if they're not posted, I can get Ashley to see if she can track them down and look, because maybe there's some notes from the minutes that might say where you posted it previously.
Julie, I have a couple other sites from this thing, Strategic Government Resources and Careers in Government, International City Council Management Association, and govjobs.com. That was just on this website about
Debbie,
city
can you send those to?
Yeah, I'll send them to you. Yeah, to Julie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great, because I was actually just about to ask the same thing. Can you just send me the list of what you got, and then rather than me trying to quickly write them all down.
That's right.
Okay, well, I think we're in pretty good shape. We'll plan on, let's just assume that the commissioners agree and have this kind of posted and up and running by the 4th, next Friday. So then 4 weeks from then would be October 2nd. So we can kind of maybe internally think of that as our cutoff date for now. And, unless something goes crazy with the commissioners not approving what we've done. And then we'll plan to meet that first full week of October to start looking at what we've got. Does that sound reasonable to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
On how again, my only thing is how we did it last time, just to give reference to help guide this thing, is if it was a 4-week, about 3 times we would disperse those applications that came in batches. So that way we would each get 8 to 10 1 week, a week or 10 days later, 8 to 10. And nobody talked about it. It was just so that you had them on file, printed out in your folder. But at the very end of it, I believe what we did was we had everybody individually on this committee submit their top 3 or 4.
Okay.
Which what that did was it gave us 8 or 10 people because, you know, the top 1 or 2 were pretty much the same, but the 3rd or 4th was different for everybody. But it gave us a nice, well-rounded group to really focus on once we were doing applications, and it worked well.
That's a great idea, Monty. Thank you. I wouldn't want to overwhelm you with like sending everybody 30 applications like right before we met. So
30 applications, we're just going to get tired of it and pick the one to get it over with at that point.
Right. And that's definitely not what we want. So, okay.
Julie, will you be sending out the final version before it gets posted? I hope.
Oh yeah. No, I will send out, now that I know that I'm not going to get those numbers from Sheena till Monday since she's off tomorrow. Yeah. I will try to send a finalized version of this by, close of business on Monday.
Actually, you could send it out without those numbers for us to review and then just fill it in.
Well, that's true. That's a good idea.
It might save a little time that way.
Right. So I'll try to get something out as soon as I can, possibly over the weekend. And then, if everybody can look at it and give me, feedback, yay, nay, you forgot this, because I won't be surprised if I forget something, that by the end of the day on Tuesday, that way I can get it to Dale and hopefully the commissioners can act on it by the end of the week, next week. Does that work for everybody?
Yep.
Works
Julie,
for me.
this is Dale.
Yep.
Is it all right if I make a comment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I want to thank all you guys for really taking this bull by the horns here and just wrestling it around a little bit. I have a feeling that the commissioners there might be an item or two that they might want to add. I doubt whether they're going to want to take anything away because I had no comments about the original draft, and you have almost everything of the original draft you all have agreed to, and there's been a few changes, but all the items are still there and well done. So I think we won't have much of a problem at all.
Okay. Well, Dave might get his feelings hurt because we kind of killed, like we completely changed his original document, but other than that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But okay. So I guess any final comments? Do we have anybody that wants to comment from the public? I'm sorry?
No, there's no one in the waiting room.
Okay, great. So we can does anybody on the committee have any final comments?
Julie, I have one more. Go ahead, Debbie.
Go ahead. Somebody else can go first. Go ahead, Debbie.
Just real quick. One of the things I've done in the past when I worked was we put together a little sheet that basically, like just a little grid that basically down the side had the things we're looking for, like finance capability, blah, 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 the listing of the traits that we want. And then sort of a sheet so that we can sort of say, all right, here's the person's name and they're like 3 in the finance, but in your opinion, everybody fills out like a sheet, but they're really only a 2 in management experience. Just to give us a sense that we're all like, we don't get overwhelmed just because somebody wrote a really nice resume. Do you know what I mean? It becomes more subjective. Objective.
Well, yeah, Debbie, you did that for the audit committee. We kind of tried to follow that. And would you mind drafting something to that effect?
Yeah. And then if I didn't get everything, you guys just add whatever traits you feel I missed.
Right.
I'll do that. Okay.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you. Diane, you had a comment?
I just had a question really, that one of the versions mentioned experience with grants and emergency response plans. And I just wondered how important you thought that is. And what I'm thinking of is if we hired a new town manager and we have a new chief of police possibly because his contract is ending, that we could have a hurricane and have 2 people who've never done this before.
Somebody wrote a really...
Right. No, that's a good point. I mean, I definitely think that's something we have it as part of our, preferences.
Mm-hmm.
We could put it on the sheet.
Yeah, exactly. It can go on our evaluation sheet to decide kind of where that candidate ranks. If they don't have it, obviously that is a concern considering we are on a floodplain big time.
Well, isn't there state training for that, workshops?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes.
So maybe if they don't have it, they could certainly participate in that.
Right.
That's what
find the training to be that
it's
terrific.
called NIM.
But it makes you
It's
think.
called NIM.
Makes you think.
And
What's that, Dale?
IMS, National Incident Management.
Right.
Oh, I put that in my
You did
version.
have it in there.
Yeah, I think the reason it wasn't effective for me was it dealt more with larger cities. Like you've got a major hospital, you've got a septic tank or a septic system being overcome by water. You've got all this stuff that we don't really have. And, you know, so it's different.
Okay.
So, anyway, just a thought.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments? Going once?
Yeah. May I make a public comment? I stepped out to walk the dog, but I'm not sure you guys are supposed to have did you guys vote on a motion to present it to the commissioner? Because you have to do that as part of the formal, because you did that with the audit, where someone will make a motion saying that they give you the right to edit it and present it to the commissioners, and then second it, and then you do that process next week.
Yep, that is, thank you. I appreciate that, Commissioner. I did forget that step. So just obviously I'm going to send out a final document that you all will review before it goes to the commissioners. But does anybody have a motion basically allowing me to do that before presenting it to the commissioners? But technically, I think we're all kind of on the same page of what needs to be added, kind of where we are. So can I get someone to make a motion to do that process?
All right, so you need a motion basically to present it to the commissioners and that they can
with the edits
needed?
With the edits that I will be making on behalf of the committee that you all will see before I send it.
You just have to move to give the chairman the authority to pull the document together with the items that you have discussed and formally present it to the commissioners.
Okay.
Thank you, Dale.
All right. So I would make a motion then to authorize our chairman to edit the document in a satisfactory manner and present it to the commissioners.
Do I have a second?
I'll second
it.
Who? I heard two voices.
David can have it. Lyons.
Dave. Okay,
Lyons
thank you.
Seconding.
All in favor? Can let me go down the list, and that way we're not talking at each other. Janine.
Aye.
Kay.
Aye.
Jimmy.
Aye.
Debbie.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
Monty.
Aye.
Paige.
Aye.
And the chair says aye as well. So that motion is passed. So thank you, everybody. And thank you for Commissioner Moskowitz for reminding me to do that, because I did skip that step. Any other comments before we adjourn? Anyone? Going once?
Great job, everybody. Good team.
Do we need to make a motion to adjourn, Julie? If so, I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll do that one group. Okay, everyone.
Any opposed?
Yeah, any opposed?
Thank you all.
Okay, I will, like I said, I'll get this out to you as quickly as possible. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.